Welcome to the One Harvest Podcast. Myself, David Azevedo, as your host, and my special guest today is someone that has been in my life for a long time, has been through a cannabis journey with me, through sports, health, a lot of amazing other journeys of mentorship. I'm very excited to have you here. His name is Caleb Jermaine. Thank you so much for being here, bro.
So grateful to be here with you. So honored to be here. The One Harvest Podcast.
Hey,
There's no better way to share my journey of cannabis and how valuable it's been to my journey and wellness, my relationship to myself and the good land that we live on, to my connection to the divine and honoring that process. It's looking at you right now, seeing those plants behind you. They all came from a seed.
true that.
And that is one thing that we all come from, bigger than a seed. It's from somewhere called oneness. And I believe in that. And we all want to grow. We're all going somewhere. How we respond is important. My journey with cannabis has helped me respond to life a bit better.
Yeah.
And you've been a huge influence
Hey,
on my education.
big respect.
Massive, because we'll probably dive in, but the hardest time in my life, I had a choice. And the way that I was seeing smoking be done around me, the way that I was smoking, it wasn't the best way. And so you pulled me aside, you educated me, developed practice around it, and never stopped. And that's why I'm so grateful to share this with you, because it's something that I had to grow with. I hadn't shared about my cannabis usage or my journey even to the public. I smoked for 5 years before I even shared with my family, my mom. And when she was talking about her arthritis, I was like, okay, this is a good time to tell her about the cannabis topical creams. And I'm like, Mom, she was so denied it. She was like, didn't want to use it. But I'm like, hey, so I've been using this stuff for 5 years. But before that, I asked her, have you noticed a change in me? And what change have you
Good
noticed?
question.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mom, before I asked her or introduced it, I'm like, hey, what changes have you noticed in me the last 5 years? She experienced more patience, a little bit more self-grace. And I'm like, hey, one thing that I've applied to my life and will help me through MRSA is marijuana. And it's not just smoking it. Like, it's wild because the example I was able to use was like, we have friends who have died from Oxycontin
Oh, yeah.
addiction, stuff like that. And so because I was face forward with people in my life addicted, I had a easy choice to not take the pharmaceuticals that they're like, yo, you need to take these twice a day so you keep the pain away and you heal from this injury and this infection. And I was able to choose.
I remember that.
I was able to choose. But I stayed silent in it for a long time because it was looked at so ugly. It was demonized. It was talked about. I remember making a pact with my friend as a young child. Yo, if we ever smoke weed, we're not friends no more type of thing. Like, it's so bad. But that's how I was influenced. That's how some of it, my seed was watered at that time by growing with it. I was able to talk my mom through it. Like, yo, what changes have you noticed in me? This is what I used. I didn't use what the doctors told me. But these people in our lives who are living these lives right now of recovery, and some people who are no longer here, they accepted the prescription without the knowledge. So I had
Not asking questions or anything. They're
yeah.
just accepting the pharmaceutical drugs and taking that, not even thinking.
Many of our teammates, injuries, torn ligaments, stuff like that.
Yep.
And so then they are prescribed this narcotic from a physician who went to years of school, who we trust. And then that narcotic is cut off, that prescription's cut off, and there's no step from the person we trust of how to not want that narcotic anymore when our body is addicted to it. And so then we're out searching for that supply. That narcotic has supplied for a while, and that on the streets comes in different forms.
Yep.
And I saw it. I was afraid of killing my gift. I was afraid of killing my voice. And so I was like, hey, Ma, try this out. My friend had some. I took it to her. She used those topical creams, man.
Yeah.
She's, oh, my gosh, she's at church. She's sharing it with people.
Yeah.
You know, my grandma uses it.
Yeah. Hey.
And they're not smoking. But the thing is, like, for me, it's like we all have our journeys with everything we do. So
Yeah. I mean, everyone has their ways of consuming cannabis. So even if it's arthritis, it's good to rub it on your knees and your hands. I know a lot of elderly people who have that issue from working so hard as a child growing up where their hands are just hurt every day. So why not take advantage of the natural herb to rub on your hands and feel great and keep them moist?
Truly, it's out there.
So, yeah.
What a gift.
What a gift. But yeah, I remember, for people that don't know, Caleb and I met during the JC playing football, and he brought something very special to me. And believe it or not, I was a big dude. I was 240 pounds when I met you, trying to get to the league, trying to do whatever I can do to support my family and myself.
That's right.
And play the game that I love so much. And I saw Caleb running one of the fastest 40 times out of everyone there. I think it was like a 4.3. It was something crazy.
It's like a 4.39.
Yeah. And I seen him run, and that's one thing the coach said was, you need to get your speed down. And so I went straight to the fastest guy on the team, and I was like, hey, help me get fast. And he said, help me get big.
Yep.
And I said, okay, we're going to eat a lot.
We ate.
We're going to eat a lot. And he's like, cool, we're going to train a lot. And I remember we did that. And that was prior to MRSA or after?
After.
That was after.
Yep.
That's right. And because you were working on your speed and working on yourself, getting back into it. That's right.
Yeah.
Damn, that was such a long time ago.
It's wild.
Yeah. Wow, time flies. Shoot, we've been friends for what? 12 years now?
No, I would say
longer.
Almost 16. Yeah, because in 4 years it'll be 20. In 3 years it'll be 28. We met in 2008, 2009.
Wow. Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah. Wow.
That winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you had MRSA, I remember you mentioned about the doctor coming to you and giving you the prescription drugs and how you felt a certain way about that, and obviously you were in pain. And in my mind, I always figured herb was the best route. I don't have Kyle here today. He's up on the hill working like usual, but yeah, he's someone that kind of pushed me towards that as well, him and his family. And so I got the gift to be able to spread that also with you and share that with you. And so when I had the opportunity to do that, it was nice to see how cannabis worked so well for you and just keep you on track to rehab and making you the best athlete that you could be out there on the field.
Yeah. It was a wild experience. Like reflecting, I don't know if I had this anywhere else other than NorCal, because not only was I experiencing like the narcotics around me, but NorCal had the medical dispensaries, you know, and I already had the knowledge of weed's never killed anyone. Some of my favorite artists, the mantras in which they use, like Bob Marley, those mantras that affect us for the good in this music, he used that plant.
Preaches on it.
Preached about it quite a bit. And so I was curious in regards to people who would share alcohol and stuff like that and other substances and what they were putting in their music and mantras. So I was more attracted to people who use cannabis, like an Erykah Badu.
As like a cannabis mentor.
In that sense, him with their music, because, you know, I was singing. I would sing so much, and so the music would influence me. And then I would get to learn about their habits and what they're using. And when I think about other music that influenced me for the good and what habits took their gifts away, narcotics, alcohol.
Yeah.
It was habitual over time and time again. I don't even have to go down the list of artists, tremendous artists who have had amazing impacts on so many of us who have not lived, who didn't, or who just died from their addiction. I almost say who didn't live their life to,
but a lot of them
they lived hard, and they lived fast, and everything has its day.
The world already moves super fast. So for you to be taking other supplements or drugs, I guess you can call them, to make the world move even faster,
right?
It's gonna fly by to a point where you're just gonna end your life quicker. I like cannabis because it does the opposite, where it comes to you as it slows time down. It allows you to enjoy that now and allows you to enjoy the people around you and just yourself and not move so fast with the world, because the world is going to continue to move fast.
It's not slowing down.
No, it's going to continue to move fast, and the herbs just going to continue to get better.
Science is engineering, all that stuff. It's different level.
Mm-hmm.
When you say slow down,
Yeah.
and I remember being told you need to slow down so much growing up,
Mm-hmm.
but I was always thinking ahead, trying to be right in my head, trying to answer right to anybody who asked any question. Not what I thought was right, but not what I felt was right, what I thought was right. So I was always in my head.
Yep.
And then that would make my heart just
Yeah.
flutter so much.
Yep.
And so I was never in my fullness, never confident to actually be in the moment, you know? And it's really interesting how when you develop a marijuana practice or even just smoke a little bit, you'll notice how you do slow down and how your reality is affected. Over time, I develop my practice to where I understand how I will be affected.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is we already have everything that marijuana brings to us inside of us. And that was something that I had already known before I started my journey. We have cannabinoid receptors in us.
Yep.
When I discovered that, I was like, oh, this is, before I had my injury or anything, I was like, I'm going to smoke a little bit. I'm going to try this out.
Yeah.
And so before MRSA, I had already smoked. It wasn't nothing new.
Yeah.
But I had already felt the slow down, that access to that. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is cool in a way that I'm happy I can slow down. Cool. Not cool like this is something I'm going to go talk about and smoke in the face and go flaunt it, but it's cool to slow down, man. I'm seeing and tasting and feeling things that I may have been running away from, and daily gifts.
Yep.
But the coolest thing was what happened in the MRSA process. Like I had a near-death experience to where I'm out of my body and I don't have any thoughts, but it's the slowest, creamiest moment I've ever experienced. And at that point, I had smoked weed, and that was the closest thing that I had to that creamy, calm experience.
Okay.
To where can't hear nothing or nothing like that. But
Yeah.
got back in my body very shortly after that. I met a professor at SRJC in my psych class, Miss Flies with Hawks, who
Legend.
Legend. Thank you, Miss Flies with Hawks. I adore you. Thank you for pulling me aside and speaking life into me. The most wonderful thing is she spoke life into me, and the life she spoke into me led me to meditation practice. She's the one that really opened up the gates for my meditation practice. While I had this machine hooked up to my leg and it's pumping out fluid, and I'm sitting in class with an IV, we had this conversation, and she's like, Caleb, stay after. And she's telling me you got to change your major, you know, from business communications, like get out of all those classes with all the athletes. You have a gift in listening and talking with people, like it's the Psych 101. And she tells me more about the psych industry, how we need more people like myself, black men who are in there, who look like people like me, who can give these tools to these people from these shoes so they can see someone already practicing, benefiting, because the pharma industry and medical practice with black people over the years hasn't always been our best friend. And so and then when it comes to being a male in it, you're going to be primarily the only male in all your classes. You know, you're going to be primarily the only black person in all your classes. But long-term thinking, this is where I see you. And then let's go for a walk. And then she tells me she's a spiritual teacher, where she gets her name from.
Yeah.
And then I have to tell you this. Like goosebumps on my back when I say that, because I have experienced so many have-tos since 2008 from different walks of life with Miss Flies with Hawks' energy that have kept me guided on my path. And meditation that I discovered, I remember sitting in a 40-minute session, and I came out, I felt really sharp, I felt light, and it was like, yo, this is similar to smoking a blunt, but I feel a bit sharper. And I'm like, ooh. Still, whenever I smoked, I still had that anxiety trickle of it.
Yeah.
So it was more like, I can do this and go in the public and just eat.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, to where I could see some people smoke and then they can go out and do their stuff. I didn't need it like that.
Yep.
And I didn't want to use it like that. But this right here, I was like, oh. So I can do this in the morning. I don't have to, like, I don't want to smoke all day.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But MRSA and all that stuff, I was smoking throughout the day. I was getting deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
People were making sure I was taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you, Serena,
Yeah.
other people. But that meditation practice helped me put a friction and a buffer on cannabis consumption.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me not dependent on it, but it made a friend out of it.
Yeah.
A consultant,
Mm-hmm.
to where more buffers were put on it, and it became like, hey, you're there, and it's good because I like you to be there, but I don't need you. And before I touch you, I'm going to practice with what I have,
Yeah.
where I'm at, like knowing that the cannabinoid receptors are in me and the marijuana plant isn't. So how can I initiate those receptors without putting the marijuana in me?
Ooh.
Breathe.
I was gonna say, you're talking about breathing,
Breathing.
but not normal. You're not talking about normal breathing. You're talking about like
Focused.
and filling in the chest with the breath.
Chest,
Yeah.
gut, circulation.
Yeah. Let's go over that.
Man, this part right here to just share is the most awesome things I've came across, because it was connecting, but I had to see it in hindsight.
Okay.
You know how they're like, hindsight 2020 is like, I don't know what they say. There's some quote about hindsight being 2020. Yeah, so hindsight is 2020.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's very clear.
Yeah.
Right? And so deep breathing, getting that belly breath,
Yep.
is something that we do as a baby. We all come into this earth as near perfect breathers for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't have any obstructions. And so we're primary breather through our nasal cavities, and we're breathing and we're taking inventory of the new environment, this new environment that we just came out of our mother's womb. So we're inventory, and we are sponging, downloading, looking at everything, like boom, categorizing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Stereotyping, because it's for our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're breathing, and then we come into this universe and to other people's environments, our parents, our aunts, their environments,
Yep.
those stresses that they're maybe already addicted to.
Mm-hmm.
We start breathing to soothe those stresses and not be fearful, or our fullness of breath starts to shrink,
Yep.
and we become shallow breathers over time. So we're more comfortable where we are. But shallow breathing is like anxiety waiting to happen. Shallow breathing has us sitting in fight or flight for the most part. Shallow breathing has us reacting.
Yep.
Shallow breathing, to me, also doesn't allow the oxygen to reach our gut, which allows our gut to have the most illnesses here in the West. And so we have rampant illnesses in our gut to our chest. And for me, my consciousness and my brain is saying this to me: if we can breathe better, deeply, the same way the nurses helped me breathe deep, the same way that I began to focus on my breath and the meditation and honoring that, which has everything, feeds the cannabinoids, ignites those receptors, gives me that calm from the natural state that I can get from a placebo state.
Yeah.
But it's already in me. When I got that, it made sense in hindsight, because I was like, oh, snaps. My nurses taught me how to breathe. Miss Fly's docs taught me how to meditate. And then over that journey since then, in the last 16 years, I have discovered how valuable breathing is, and we all take it for granted because it's the freest thing available to us.
So true.
And the cool thing is, the breath is the first thing that we all get to enjoy before we decide to employ stereotypes, decisions, categories, boxes, strain names, things like that.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like we're all seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about this breath is we all share it. And from that one breath, which is that universal breath, that universal spirit, that connecting to this statement, that universal spirit, in my journey, I've been able to walk different religious walks on purpose because I was able to grow up in a religious silo that I was introduced to a spiritual realm. I was introduced to the Bible. I was introduced to all these parables and all these things that shared different awesome creations and experiences. Jesus Christ's walk with the 12 disciples. I was demonstrated to people. I had high anxiety as a kid, a lot of illnesses in my throat too. And so looking back at that, I've had a purposeful journey experiencing breathing with different religious silos on purpose. When I started experimenting around 18, I stopped going to a Christian church.
Okay.
And I started walking as the church in a sense of now I can look back and say we're just people in these churches.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing about being a person is we are mistake ridden and we're solution bringers. And that's what the brain is. Solution bringers, and we're going to find mistakes so we can build a better solution.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that doesn't feel good. And so we protect some of those limitations that could give us a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those limitations are behaviors that we enjoy doing. And in these silos, some of these behaviors just keep on happening.
Yeah.
And it contradicts what we're teaching. And so I got to see my loving human beings do some hypocritical things that I did not want to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Bible says, hey, you are the church. You are the church. And so I've been reading that over and over as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I love people, but man, this has sucked so much. Hey, God, I'm going to walk as a church. Guide me. Gut me like a fish. Pour salt in my wounds. I understand, hey, if you do this to me and you already know my heart, the music will come. The gift will expose itself in the greatest way so I can bring people closer to you as God. Not as anything in between, but as God. And I want to get to know you as that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that breath that I discovered years later.
Mm-hmm.
Through the process of injury, gutting. Feels like salt in my wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to walk again, tell them they're going to cut my leg off.
Yep.
Leaving my body, coming back, and then Miss Feiselhawks introduced me to this.
Think about that. Someone telling you that you're going to get your leg cut off. If someone told me that, I would freak, bro. To just even think about that. And you to have the mindset that you have and had then also to just be able to change your direction of positivity and tell yourself that you're going to get back on that field and you're going to be walking and you're going to. And I remember smoking herb with you, and I told you one time, I said, I don't want to smoke and go work out because it's not going to bring my full potential.
I remember that.
And I like to use it as my reward. And Caleb introduced me to something that was super cool to be able to change my mindset when I was smoking herb. A lot of times when I go into smoking weed, it's rehabilitation. Like, it's all about rehab. It's all about stretching. It's all about calming my breath down and like slowing things down. But you opened a whole nother door where you're like, hey, smoke some herb and put yourself in a different realm, as in you are the strongest person in the room. You are the fastest person here. You are the smartest person. You can be the Tiger Woods of golf in your mind. And you can actually turn yourself into a better athlete or a better person if you want to use it into a mental state of mind. So yeah, thank you for that,
dude. Thank you.
Yeah,
because I when you say that, I was like, I remember so clearly because visualizations and heck, we already had athletes that were sharing about their process.
Yep.
And how they were using it towards their rehab. And like the reward.
Yeah.
That psychology, fight or flight. There's a risk to reward everything. If we make it a reward, it's going to be in its place.
Yeah.
It's not going to run the race for us.
And I don't recommend people to smoke herb and train all the time.
Oh, no.
But it's something where it's like, as an athlete, you're always working out. You're always, and if it's mental reps, if it's physical reps, you're always working out. So it just gives that one workout a little different type of workout. But it also helps you and allows you to focus more on the smaller things, as like you were saying, breathing.
Yep.
Slows your technique down. I know you have a breathing technique for all smokers. You can do this when you smoke,
reminded me
or you can do it when you're just at home or you are in a tight situation. And it's something that's super dope, and I would love for you to share it with everybody.
Oh, man. Straight up, grateful for you.
Yeah.
This breathing technique is super awesome. Before I go into the breathing technique, I want to finish the statement of the breath translates to spirit. Ooh. Every religious walk that I got to discover, still love discovering and practicing, it translates to spirit. And so when we breathe deep, we honor the universal spirit. It comes into our oxygen. It fills our brain, it fills our heart, it fills our gut. It hits all these 9 systems in our body, helps us optimize the next movement. And this next breathing technique is something that I just popped into my head while at Santa Rosa in my rehab process. I don't remember if I was in class or something, but it's blunt breathing.
Blunt breathing.
Blunt breathing. And in blunt breathing, you're simply going to...
I'm going to do it with you, so
all right? Remember, we used to pass fake J's around class. And this was me practicing, seeing if it actually worked. This was my first experiment. And no one even knew I was doing it. But I used to see if I could make the J get around class.
Yeah.
But essentially, you just have a little J in your fingers. So you pinch your fingers right there. And you take a puff. Hold it. Take another puff. Hold that. And slowly exhale. Feel free to puff one more time. In blunt breathing, that double inhale and that pause, it helps us immediately tap into the parasympathetic system. That's something I learned a decade later. But I was wondering, is the only time other than when we're exercising and other than when we're smoking as athletes and teammates, is that the only time we're breathing deeply? Because every other time, I'm nervous as heck. Teacher calls on me, I'm nervous.
Yep.
Coach calls on me, I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with the girls, but that's just a byproduct of nature. But I'm so nervous, that anxiety, we all had it. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing a lot of people react, and now I'm learning about human development, human behavior in the same time, and so it's all just connecting. So I started passing these big J's around. Yo, hit that. Hold it. Oh, now hit it. Roll it around the class. Someone else will be like, teacher would turn her head. Pass it all around. If he got to me, then we would talk afterwards. Bro, that was hilarious. And I'm like, you guys feel better? Yeah, that was wild.
That's placebo effect. Yeah.
And so...
And especially for the people that do smoke herb probably in the class, they're already sitting in class like, man, I can't wait to get home to smoke a joint or smoke my bong. You know what I mean? So it's you're passing this by and you're bringing in, what is it, like a dopamines, right? When you're breathing in and you're still using the same style technique as you would to smoke a joint.
That motion.
That's what's setting your brain and your intention and your reward. And I don't know, more of an open mind afterwards.
That placebo is already giving you that oxygen, which without marijuana, it's already initiating your cannabinoids. And so that clarity and that calm is bringing you into the presence of now. That we would, can't wait to smoke because that's going to bring us now. That's going to relax us, right? That's going to give us our, But if we breathe better right now, we don't have to wait for that. And when we get there, on the way there, everything else is going to be better. The water is going to be better. The conversation is going to be better. The drive there is going to be better. And the obstacles are going to be better. And when people get what we might think is in the way, they become a part of the better way, which is awesome because when I'm waiting to smoke and when I was waiting to smoke and looking forward to smoke, people weren't better. The water wasn't better. The journey wasn't better. The drive wasn't better. The calls weren't better. And when people got in my way, they stayed in my way and I smoked them to try to get them out of my way. And they never left.
So true.
But with meditation, that awesome friction, bruh, that oneness, that universal spirit, everyone don't smoke, but everybody breathes. And everybody has a vice, and do what you please. But no harm, least amount of harm, that's what I'm at. And when I have people actually live out the stereotypes, that they're like, don't do that, you're growing up. And then I look at people from afar, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm curious, they're doing different. And then I come up close, leave my hometown, have that adversity moment in my life with MRSA, have a choice to where this is life or life. I just got to die in the hospital. Hey, dear humans, I don't care what you think about me, and I don't care what you think about this habit. right now, it's me and God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a choice: sit in pain or Mary Jane. And over the time, I was so scared of making Mary Jane like my dominant thing, and like even writing and music,
For sure.
that I was afraid even smoking.
It is a
And
substance.
so it's a substance.
You know?
And so that breathing, that spirit, boy,
Yeah.
that's before every session. That's before every writing. That's where now the blunt breathing is something I would like to share with smokers.
Yeah.
Share with smoke shops.
Yep.
Share with any cannabis consumer to say, hey, do this before you breathe so your marijuana is better.
It is true too. and I recommend doing it before you smoke, and I recommend doing it while you have a joint.
Oh,
Because it's just going to get you that next level, especially if you're just trying to get a little bit higher than usual and you get that real good hit, and it just sets you right, sets you down. Just be careful.
he said be careful.
Yeah.
Breathing is one hell of a drug.
It,
And you can't
It
breathe
is.
too much. There's
Yep.
different breathing techniques that I've experienced over the years that you can induce yourself into a hallucination state.
Yeah.
You can. That's why I personally, every morning for the last 5 years, I've been doing this strenuous breathing technique with Wim Hof.
Yep.
And it's real, but
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. But box breathing, equal parts, we can all use these to actualize our momentary gifts right now.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's so many hitting in so many ways for me, because I get to help people renew their spirit,
Yep.
wherever religion they walk, whatever type, whatever the decision or limitation they choose.
Yep.
Before that, I get to do something that is a job in this land, which is to serve. And I get to serve human beings by helping them breathe better. Before I get to sing, before I get to speak.
Yep.
And that's changed something with my gift. It's changed up a whole lot. And I want to serve people even more with it. And that's why I'm so honored to be here with you.
Hey.
Right here at the One Harvest, because 2025 is ultimate service, no boundaries. And so when it comes to cannabis, ask me any question you want, talk to me about it, but understand that's not my savior, that's not my leader, that's not my guide. The divine is.
Yep.
And that's that breath.
Yep.
And that's that connection. And if you need marijuana to do that, I could do that with you. But if you want to breathe better, I'll do that with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I want you to explain where you are in the path of your life right now and what you're doing. Sum it up for everybody and let them know how you come across this knowledge and why you're studying more of this and your background.
And long story short, I'm one of 7 boys. I'm the middle child. I got the benefit of learning how to share, care with my brothers. I am what you would say a product of a broken home. My parents divorced when I was 12 years old. I went to a religious school that was based upon African American studies that my parents were the founders of. And so I was able to go to a private school from 1st grade to 6th grade. A lot of black people, Asians, a couple white people in the inner city of Tacoma, Washington. And then when that school shut down, I was then the only black guy in all of my classes primarily. And then my parents divorced. And so I had the opportunity to experience what it's like to be around people that look like me, and also do something different where my dad was demonstrating that, my mom was demonstrating that, the adults were saying, hey, we want to serve our children's minds differently. We want to make sure that they know they're powerful. We want to make sure they know that their lineage doesn't start as slavery. I want to make sure that they know they come from kings and inventors, and that they're unique in that way and they're born to create.
Yep.
And so before any of the religious principles, we were taught those things. And so when that school shut down and I was sitting in the 7th grade class and I'm being taught about, we're in Black History Month and we're starting at slavery, and they are looking at me as the only black guy in the 7th grade class, I'm confident in saying, did you guys know this is not where we start?
Wow.
And so I was able to have a different experience and love and admiration for people who had limitations based upon race when I got into that industry of like public school. I had some bad experiences with adults who were very racist, who said, no, you cannot talk to my daughter. You cannot date my daughter. Straight up to my face.
Wow.
And as a 7th and 8th grade, and I look at them and I'm like, man, as a 7th grader, my heart goes out to you because I understand you have a lot of hate in your heart, but this sucks. But I was also, my parents were,
Yeah.
so I was able to just, okay, this is a time where it's just me in a sense. And so I grew and I got a lot of friendships. I got to experience a different type of lifestyle.
Do you think that's what helps you relate and work with kids these days? Like that's what drives you to help other children?
I wasn't fully accepted to any group, so I was able to be a chameleon there, but I was an awesome athlete, and so people accepted me.
Yeah.
But if you bully somebody, I would, me first.
Yeah.
No, they don't want that.
Yeah, of course
and so I was able to do that, and then as I got older, football was always pushed.
Yep.
Sports was pushed, but I've sang my entire life. One thing that hurt my heart, but I had to grow with and regroup my voice was as a child, I sang a lot in the church, but I also got a lot of whoopings for making up songs out of my heart that the adults around me maybe thought were from some worldly vision or some other artist.
Yeah.
And so looking back at it, this little Caleb was scared to sing his own songs. Little Caleb was okay singing as a voice for others, but being me, no. And so when I decided to walk as a church, and when I decided to be open to what's in the scriptures, the 40 days for myself, rather than just reading about it and preaching about it and talking about it, I'm like, I want to live. That's when I started experiencing a relationship with the divine that I had felt as a child, but I definitely stopped with my fear. And for some years, I was like, yo, I guess I don't have access to this. I'm over here singing, and I'm seeing people cry and dance, and I'm over here numb as heck. I guess I don't have access. And so when I decided to not walk in the church no more, I was like, bruh, hey, God, you got to do something with me. And I put a prayer up. Did I ever tell you about this prayer?
I don't believe so.
2 weeks before my senior year in high school, because when I came to MRSA, when I had MRSA, that was 2 years after 2 shoulder surgeries. My first shoulder surgery was my first game my senior year, or not surgery, but my injury. 2 weeks before that, I stayed after practice and I prayed to God. I said, in my Christian way, like I am not a Christian, I don't identify like that, but in my Christian way, I prayed to God on my knees in the field, and I said, hey, I'm good at football, but it doesn't bring me joy. You gave me the gift of singing, I see it works for people, but it ain't working for me. But I need it to work for me, or I'm done living. Simple.
Damn.
Give me the 40 days and the 40 nights. Gut me like a fish, pour salt in my wounds. This is how I trust you. My entire life, people have been telling me to pray for this, pray for that, pray for this, pray for that. But it also says in the scriptures, you know my heart. So reveal it to me. Pour salt in my wounds. I trust you that you will, over time, the right songs will come out of me. I'll be able to meet people with a high, low, and in between with my songs that actually work for me.
Yep.
And that reminds, everything's working for me in all ways. And it's, okay, 2 weeks later, first game, I'm guarding my friend Bobby, who went to Louisville. Post corner, interception, fall, elbow first. I'm coming off the field holding my arm, and I'm like to myself, God, is this happening right now? Like, only me knows this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy moly. And so when I'm in the freaking hospital 3 years later and they're telling me they're going to cut my leg off, I had already given my body up. I'm like totally denying them because I want to play.
Did you go back to that prayer?
I went back to the prayer. I was like, doctor's like, Caleb, you need to be realistic. He knew I was not believing him because I was like, yo, I prayed for some crazy stuff, yo. And I had these dislocations. Now I'm out here in Santa Rosa, blah, blah. I have no idea, but whatever is going on right now, I'm seeing myself play this season. It was like the first game of the season when I went to the hospital. And it's like we were playing Reedley, and I missed the game. And so I'm like, we still got a whole season. Bruh, I'm still playing. We still got October and November. I am going to come back. He's like, Caleb, we need to be realistic. We're going to cut your leg off. At that point, I'm still not believing, but in my head, I'm like, hey, I can still sing.
Damn.
I can still sing.
Yeah.
So my optimism came from the freaking prayer.
Yeah.
To the divine that my parents introduced me to, that I'm so grateful for. But
so that turned you to that direction.
Yeah.
And then you came through with the iDream project,
which came from the breath, imagination, initiative. Everyone needs the life initiative. And if you can imagine yourself serving with that life initiative, you're gonna be able to live your life not on the backs of others, not taking from others, not in parasitic relationships, but in symbiotic relationships, where we're both We're tug of war because you need some slack.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're tug of war because I need some give.
Mm-hmm.
But we're together here. We're not pulling the rope apart. And so that initiative, long-term, imagination, breath, visualization, relationship to
Yep.
self, to the divine, to others, to our community, to your daughter, to your wife, to her job, to her preschool, to her cousins, trickles out from your practice in the morning, how you're diligently going about your honoring of the divine, to you got your effort. We're electric beings. Many times we get these downloads, we're like, oh, I was just thinking about that, because we take each other's ideas all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm baffled. If you can believe in Wi-Fi and not believe in telepathy, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Einstein said, you can either look at it like this: every day is a miracle, or
Yeah.
every day's not. He said everything is a miracle, everything's not. But for me, coming back from MRSA,
Yep.
every day became a miracle, and it helped me cultivate my energy through
Yeah.
the practices. And with myself, coming with an attitude of gratitude, which is that A. We're always in action mode. No one knows when it's going to be over, but we're always in action mode.
Yeah.
And when we get to serve, whether it's holding the mic or now I'm in front of the camera on the mic, we're always in action mode. And when we're grateful, as I feel at this moment, I'm mindful that this journey has cultivated a mindset with it too, that we have both been able to share and lean on and grow with each other.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing because that S.
Serve. Yep.
So iDream came from the people like yourself, your mom Spaghetti, Coach Wagner, Miss
Yeah.
Flies with Hawks,
Yeah.
people, Coach Tubbs, this Santa Rosa community. When I was living in an apartment with two people who were smoking the pills the doctors prescribed to me off tinfoil, yo. Like they were already past the taking it in phase. They were already past that. They needed it stronger, and they were not getting prescribed it. They were getting this off the street. And so for me, I'm like, I'm scared to take this stuff. And doctor, I can't bring this in
Yeah.
because they're gonna take my stuff. And so that was double whammy.
Yeah.
Don't want them to get it. I don't want them to take it.
Yep.
And so iDream came from that. I was being served. That came into meditation.
Yeah. Speaking of meditation, I know you wanted to do a little meditation on the show.
Oh yeah, I got an awesome one to share with you guys.
Yeah, we should do that.
Whenever the meditation is really simple. Over the years, we've been able to practice a lot. Shout out to you for actually helping me teach. It's because we've been able to share mentorship with each other
Of course. Yeah.
and lean on each other in that sense. And you've impressed this into me. Like, go share this, teach. This is working. I'm like, yeah, it's working for me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it helps you visualize and manifest and see it through.
yeah.
So yeah, meditation it's a key of life that a lot of people have, but they just decide not to take it out of their pocket, just like breathing.
Yeah, meditation is medication for the mind.
You heard it.
Hey, meditation is medication for the mind. And the cool thing about this awesome free medication is you can do it from wherever you are. And there is also access through placebos and through mediums like music, through textures, through smells, through taste. But you don't necessarily need that because just like the cannabinoids in your body, you already have what you need. And so in this meditation, it's a meditation that we can do in our birthday suit when we wake up in the morning. And we don't need any headphones.
Yeah.
All right, we don't need anybody else, but it's a 3-step meditation that I have discovered and I've been teaching and I've been applying, and it really powers me up. And I've been doing it with my eyes open.
Okay.
Started with my eyes closed, meditating, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this practice with my eyes open. And so wherever you are.
For a lot of people that have never meditated, a lot of times, like for myself, I close my eyes because it helps me get into the zone and I don't see my surroundings and change the process of my thinking. That's why I close my eyes.
Righteous.
And I can get into a deeper meditation. When you do open your eyes, which takes a crazy skill to do, and I'm sure there's other people that are higher meditating people than us that practice a lot, and they can do it as well. But yeah, that's very impressive because, like I said, you can go to a different world. I can be staring right here, and we can be going through the process, and I will be thinking about how's that card staying up like that.
I mean, that right there could be a focused meditation. But
that's a good point.
Depending on what practice of the meditation you're doing.
But if my eyes are open, I could be like, wow, why is the weed still there? Why haven't I rolled that yet? You know what I mean?
Tangents.
Yeah.
What brings you back when your eyes are open essentially the same thing that can bring you back when your eyes are closed. The breath. And so if
That's
you
what I
can
use.
give yourself a visual color to your breath and see it in your vision, then everything else eventually will become like that cinematic mode on our iPhone, becomes the background.
It's almost like sleeping with your eyes open.
And I started practicing this because I love meditation, love studying it. I came across, it was a Buddhist practice of meditation where they said, hey, when you actually close your eyes, you're going into a depth of an unrealized place. But when you meditate with your eyes open, you're able to do that in a way of a Christ consciousness type, to where meditate day and night. So then you don't have to close your eyes to readjust during the day. You can do it in real time, because that's the real goal. It's like there's this cool scripture. My brother was talking about picking up your mat and walking, being on the mat but having it be inactive.
Oh, I like that.
And there's this parable about these 3 men who go into the fire in the city of Babylon, but in the fire there's 4 men that are shown. And that 4th man is said to be Jesus Christ, or the Spirit of Christ. And so with me, it's that ultimate trust in the fire of life, in this city of craziness. But when we trust, we have assistance, we have guides. We don't have to do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's people that have done it before us.
Yeah.
Leaders.
There's
who
no
we can
wrong
learn-
way.
who we can learn from.
Yeah, like meditations, you at the grocery store now, there's so many different ways that are being promoted. Like for me,
I like how you said that, though. There's no wrong way.
there's no wrong way.
And I think meditation is everyone's own way. I like to meditate sometimes when I'm under the influence of some herb, and then sometimes I don't. Try smoking some weed and go into a meditation and tell me what you create.
The intention is what's important.
Yeah.
Because the intention is going to direct the placebo. The intention is going to direct the breath.
Yep.
So whether you're smoking or even doing some other natural herb, psilocybin, the meditation is essentially what we do in life. And so if we can take this honor of the divine in that breath and honor our next word, and then that word honors our next move, and then that next move honors our next breath, and then our next thought honors our next word, and then that honors our next move, and we just keep on. Okay, divine.
Yep.
Baby, give you some space.
Yep.
How are you, revealing your true self right now? Instead of me making it more loud,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a step around, let you be, experience, and then you see, oh, she soothed herself. Divine is working all the time.
Yeah.
Things tend to work out for us. And in this meditation, 3-step, real simple, eyes closed or eyes open.
Okay.
You're gonna do first, we're just gonna get to know the breath. Honor that. And I could guide us right now in a 10-minute, but I'm gonna guide us right now in a 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's do it.
And so first, we're gonna breathe in our nose. Release. Down to the pits of your belly, and when you breathe in next, go ahead, breathe. However you believe, hold, whether it's God, universe, or spirit, release it now. On this next breath, I want you to thank that God, universe, spirit, right now, breathe in. Thank it for choosing you. Thank it for choosing you from day one as a baby. Right now, continue to breathe at your pace. Thank it for choosing you in the 5th grade and the 6th grade to the age you are now. Whether your eyes are open or closed, go ahead and breathe in now. And at this moment, take your hands and put them over your heart. And fill your heart with this next breath. Again, thank the Creator for breathing life, and fill up your belly with that breath and let it out. And that's tier 1. We've thanked the Creator for breathing life. That's our friend. Tier 2, we're going to think about someone who loves us, something that loves us. Maybe it's a pet, maybe it's ourselves, maybe it's our mother, but something that loves us undeniably. And on this next breath, I want you to just think about why they love you. If they've said a phrase to you, if they've encouraged you, if it's I love you. On this next breath, feel it and just hear it. Here we go. Breathe in. Whoever it is, continue to breathe in. Deep breath. because you are loved, you are supported, and there's people who love you and want to support you. Breathe in. And now in this next breath, I want you to do your best to see them, see yourself from their eyes. Breathe in. Speak those words that they've spoken to you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for helping me at this time in my life. I am here for you. I would love to hug you, whether it's someone who's even here in the physical or maybe they're deceased. In the spirit form, they love you, and they always will. Right now, let's breathe in deep. And back in our bodies, because we know we have we have been chosen by the Creator in this breath, and we are loved, not just by ourselves, but by others around us. On this next breath, I wanted you to remember a time where you thought you had to do it on your own, where you had to have a MRSA experience like myself, and your body may have failed you, and the doctor said, we don't know. Maybe your relationship was in a rut, whatever it is, and you had to surrender to the unknown. You had to surrender to that entity that you believe in, call it God, Yahweh, Jah, whatever it is. Right now, remember that moment. And as your chest is beating and that oxygen is flowing through your bodies, in this next breath, I want you to remember that you're here right now and that you overcame that emotion and that you were supplied and that your gifts were given at the right time. And right here, right now, you have the ability to breathe. Another breath from the divine. So let's do that together. One, two, three. We are chosen. We are loved. And we don't have to do this on our own. If you remind yourself that in just the auditory and you connect it with some breathing, it's a massive meditation. You don't have to do it for 10 minutes or even 1 hour. You can do this in 1 minute. Remember, the breath is your best friend, and it's the spirit circulating through us all. It gives us the ability to choose our limitations, and that gives those people ability to love us and tell us how much they love us and ourselves. And after that, we get to remind ourselves we are not alone. And so when it gets tough, keep going and know that you are supplied. That's the meditation.
That was good. I feel like I took a nap. Refreshed.
Refreshed, yeah. That right. Oh,
I was good. I was in it. I was thinking of Layla, my daughter. And when you said to put yourself in their body and look at yourself from their eyes, the first thing I did was look up. Yeah.
Did you feel it in your heart?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And for the love that she feels from me, I felt when I change her diaper, when I make her bottle, when I say goodnight to her, take her outside. You know, when I open the fun up to splash in some puddles, put the rain boots on, and it's like, all right, let's go. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where I was in my meditation. But, yeah,
that's love.
Thank you for sharing that.
Available so I could practice with you here.
And let's do a little shout out, like how people can get a hold of you, follow you, reach you.
All right, so I have this slogan that I came across in Los Angeles. Don't follow me, follow yourself. And before you follow yourself, follow your intuition. But we can connect and we can become friends, fellow leaders on Instagram, any social media, YouTube. You can come direct to me, calebjermaine.com. Right there, I have all my music available. I have meditations available.
Dailies,
yeah. So all my songs, if you give me your email list, you can get them for free, but you can also pay what you want.
Dope.
Which is like my entire catalog, which is awesome because sometimes people pay a nice penny for a song that took some time to make or a song that was just like, boom. But they're all serving songs for mental wellness. I believe every day's a miracle, and that's what you are. But starting with me, like I said, trust, follow you, follow your intuition, follow spirit. For me, my MRSA experience developed the mantra that every day's a miracle, because it actually is. And that has been watered for many years. And so I have a store called Everyday Miracles. And in that store, I have created canvases with mantras for our homes, for our businesses, to remind us of our miracles. I've created shirts, sweatshirts. This hat right here, it's not available yet, but it's
coming soon.
It's coming soon. And it's Caleb Jermaine on all the socials, Amazon store. If you type in Everyday Miracles, we have t-shirts available and phone cases, actually. Phone cases.
Dope.
Available.
Passing the message in any way.
Yeah, because it's like this. When the thing is, I can sing it, I can write it, I can share it, I could teach it. But the coolest thing is when I don't say anything and you say it inside, and then you feel something from that. And that's what's been the coolest thing with Everyday's Miracle and this merch. Because I just wear it, and then someone comes up to me and they're like, yeah, man, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, where'd you get that? And then I'm like, I made it. And then the experience from that is awesome. Because it's just like, oh, say what? Let me get one. Where's that? Here, let me tell you about this miracle in my life. Let me tell you why. And so when you wear the shirt, you're going to create more miracles in your daily walk. Guaranteed. Wow. You're going to wear it to the grocery store, and the lady at the cashier, she's going to be like, yep. Yeah.
I've witnessed that with you.
It's so cool. And so now I'm like, hey, I can't play small. And there's an abundance of ways to be supportive in my journey and reflect that support in your own journey and to your community and family. And CalebJermaine.com is the best way. And any other social media that it ain't on, shoot, DM me, because we're wearing the hats here.
Hey, thank you so much for being on the show today, sharing your story, opening it up to the people, allowing everyone to just learn and be educated in their health and their well-being. Able, I think, advance the herb even more. Even if you already consume cannabis for a long time, bringing yourself into a different state of mind before you smoke or while you're smoking will completely change.
Straight in gratitude. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
With season 2, new perspective is what it's at. And we're going to continue bringing this journey to everyone and bringing more people on to tell their stories on how cannabis has helped them in their life, how we can help someone maybe out there that needs it. I'm looking forward to this, to more guests, and to share and educate more people and give a platform for others to tell their story as we've been. And thank you so much again, Caleb, and I can't wait to see you again once you're back in Santa Rosa.
Hey, I can't either, brother. Yeah. And thank you so much. I don't want to have the last word, but I want to, this one harvest just popped out. I already knew it was one harvest. Like, you guys, we knew this before you guys knew this. And it's totally dope. But, my friends, one harvest, it's like this. If we guide our thoughts and we guide our words, we will harvest those seeds inside of our hearts. And the fruits of our labor, the fruits from our solutions and our obstacles and our behaviors, will feed not just us, but many beyond us in our duration here in the human form. Harvest your gift in the onest way that you can. Just like the One Harvest podcast. Hey, bro, I love you. So grateful for you.
Likewise. On that note, one harvest, one love. Peace.